Hi everyone, and welcome to The Build Show with JP. I'm your host, JP, and we love to transform lives one guest at a time, and we do that by having amazing guests, and today is no different. We have with us Benjamin Marett. So let me tell you just a little bit about Ben. His first passion in life was as a classical ballet dancer, and after receiving his advanced diploma at the Australian Ballet School, he went on to dance in companies in San Francisco, Dresden in Germany, and then he came back home to the West Australian Ballet, where he was promoted to principal dancer before following his true calling and creating Neopkwaii. What is Neopkwaii? Well, we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to talk about how Ben has implemented the build framework, not just in his passion of dance, but in obtaining and realizing his new dream. And as impressive as all that is, this is what I love the most, actually. Get this. He played Yoda in Star Wars Episode 2. So join me in welcoming the legend, the master, the man, Ben Marett. Ben, welcome.
Thank you very much,
Thanks
JP.
for being on the show. So I got to start with Yoda. What's it like to play Yoda, and how did that happen?
Absolutely. Just to clarify, I didn't actually play Yoda as such. I was the green screen. I did some green screening.
Right. So I think in that one, the fight scene, right, the epic fight scene,
Yes, exactly.
this was you, right? Yeah. So because that makes sense, because dancing and movement, it all goes together, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there was actually three. There was the National Aikido Swordsman. There was a guy from Cirque du Soleil and me, and they did green screening of all of the three of us, and then took that, all put it together, edited it together, and then a little bit of a claim to fame. Is, definitely
amazing.
Doing some green screening for the Master Yoda.
So I can guess that all the true spins where he was actually doing
all that kind of stuff. I did some turns in
right?
second. I did all that kind of stuff, and so that was.
It's amazing technology how it all comes together, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I actually got to see when it was released when I was working in San Francisco.
Right.
And it was amazing because we went to the show that had all the digital editors in them.
Yeah.
So it was unbelievable because you could tell when they had been doing something. So the fight scene, it was like a rock concert. So when Yoda comes out and he opens up his coat and the lightsaber just hovers over and he just picks it up.
Right.
The place erupted. It was like a rock concert. It was an exciting thing to be part of. These people had put so much time and energy and work and feel the energy in the room when all their hard work had kind of transpired into these scenes where there was so much of this digital work. So yeah, that was pretty special to be part of it myself, separate in studios, dancing and really not having much to do with anybody else. It was nice to meet George Lucas and meet Ewan McGregor, and then I didn't get to meet Natalie Portman, unfortunately. I saw her. But then to be part of the end product in San Francisco to see when it was the showing was pretty special.
Epic, amazing. Yeah. So, and I mean all the amazing things you've done. You know, we talk about build, which I know you know the build framework, and walking through that. And for those of you who don't know what build is, it's an acronym. It stands for build relationships, understand the business, implement strategies, lead and inspire, and deliver excellence. And what we love about the Build Show is just walking through the amazing success that our guests have had with the Build framework and talking about really specifically how you've made it yours, you know? So if we start with B, like building relationships, and we, you know, look at what we want kind of the listeners to think about with your journey and how building relationships is so important. What's something you can share in that category of building relationships that has helped you so much?
Yeah, building relationships, particularly the one that opened up my professional career. So as you said, I was in the 3 years at the Australian Ballet School, and then I worked with the director that I had in San Francisco, who kind of, that relationship opened me up to meeting George Lucas, helped with my green card. That then opened up my life into going into America. America was where I first connected with Moldavite, which is, this is actually a tektite. So what happened was a meteor hit the planet 14.9 million years ago.
Feel that. That's really
fantastic. I'm glad you say that. Look,
you can feel that energy. I mean, it's
fantastic.
It's heavy and light at the same time.
Yes,
if that
wonderful.
makes any sense. It has that weight behind it.
Wonderful.
And yet it's almost levitating.
Yeah.
This is real. I wish I could give this to all of the listeners and to feel this. I've never felt anything like this.
Yeah. So a tektite is when you get terrestrial and extraterrestrial matter that fuses. You get lots of different tektites all over the planet, but this one was strewn over the Moldau Valley. And we have some beautiful bright lights in here, but when you hold it up, it's almost an emerald green, and it's the only facetable
oh my gosh
tektite.
I don't know if you can get that at all, maybe not, but that's like...
So one of the main connections for me And one of the main stones I use in Neopkwaii, and one that's been very important to me on my journey, is moldavite. So not only a relationship with people,
Right.
but relationship with, for me, stones, mineral, and particularly sacred geometry. So in America was when I was given my first piece of moldavite. So not only the relationship with George Lucas opened up the opportunity of my life path as a classical ballet dancer, then into now the Neopkwaii and the jewellery and that, but also the relationship with the minerals. This was kind of the first one. Same as you, I picked it up and I just went, there's more to this.
Seriously, I've never felt anything like that. That's
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
So relationships for me, yeah, they're like the lifeblood. You're opening up yourself to people, places, circumstances. Yeah.
Right. And you know what I love about that? Not only have I not felt anything like that, but I haven't looked at building relationships in the sense that you're talking about. Now, I'm the creator of the Build Framework, right? Which is what I love having guests on who have actually looked at the Build Framework, and they talks about, he's not talking about, I mean, get this, guys, he's not talking about just the relationships with people, which is so important. He's talking about relationships with the minerals. He's talking about relationships with Mother Earth, right? Or however you want to say it. And that is so important. It's like another level of this understanding of building relationships. So I appreciate that insight from you because it's really important. And it looks like it's led to your next passion, right? Which is Neopkwaii, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Neopkwaii is kind of a deified man that is part of Native American Indian culture. And I love rain. It's once again the relationships.
Right.
Whenever it rains, I feel this release of energy from my center. It's very uplifting. And Neopkwaii was a deified man that used to go around and bring fertility. So he would play his flute and bring the rain. So I very much, having that close resonance with Native American Indian philosophy and rain, have chosen this kind of personification through this business. He used to carry a sack of trinkets of stuff that he would make as well and sell his
Right.
wares. So
I've seen images and stories and pictures
exactly.
of that, this
yes,
character.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. So that's kind of my connection to Neopkwaii. I brought another couple here that you might, of course, with your energetics, you know, I felt, and I would hope we would have this connection. But so when I was in my last in WA, when I was dancing in WA, I had an injury where I split my patella tendon.
Oh, right.
So just jumping.
Yeah.
So another mineral, I picked this up at about that time, and same thing. I placed this in my right hand and this amazing amount of energy went through my body. And so this is called selenite. The crystal name is selenite and the mineral name is gypsum.
Right.
And for me, like you're saying about the experience of energy, it literally puts me in a ball or a sphere of white light. And that really helped me at that point in time. So I had to take 6 months off and I couldn't walk upstairs. I was waking up in the night, turning over with just waking up from the pain. This has helped me. I now still dance, not professionally, for myself. I still do yoga. I still do lots of exercise. That helped me completely heal. I now have no scar tissue or anything.
Amazing, yeah, and this is amazing too. Again, I wish you guys could all feel this and actually experience what it's like, but there's a tangible energy that's
wonderful. It's so nice to connect with you on this way. And then another one of my other favorites. This is fossilized wood. And it's another one. I do meditation. I've been meditating for about 25 years now.
Cool.
And so crystals, the interaction with crystals, just like with people, you're in a different energetic or emotional state. I can feel that has an effect on me.
Right.
These are just different energies kind of solidified, slowing down into matter so that we can interact with them.
Right.
And this is one of my favorite. I feel like I'm almost in a void.
Right. Now it's interesting because wood has an upward movement, right? And you can feel that upward movement as you actually
connect with
this. So that's interesting. Which leads us actually right to you, which is understand the business, right?
Yep.
So, and you're sharing a lot of the understanding of the business of Neopkwaii. What's something from the standpoint of just the concept of understanding the business that, as you look back now on your career and all the success you've had, that would be interesting to share with our listeners?
Absolutely, yeah. Understanding for me is like a byproduct of living. So rather than understanding, every time I thought understanding was a solidified idea, I kind of realized that understanding was this kind of mutable energy that was always changing. Every time you go, that's it, I understand that. Life goes, great, let's move on. And it helps you to expand. So understanding personal life, business life, whatever you're relating with, whatever the relationship, understanding when you're consciously kind of connected to yourself is just your narrative. Your narrative of life, the understanding of yourself and then how you connect to life is your understanding. And that is just this I like to believe, in my own experience, that life is not, although goals are great to have, it gives you direction, it's not actually about reaching those goals. As soon as you reach a goal, there's always another goal to create.
Yep. It's about the journey, right? And honoring the struggle and all these different ways you say that.
So the understanding for me is actually the evolving of your understanding of life, or being part of that journey rather than just this orientated on the goals.
And does that lead you back to that centrifugal loop of building more relationships then? Do you
Well, it's
find?
endless. It's
Right?
just, you know, exactly, just as you express in the book. And that's the wonderful thing. Then you can still be a child at 78 years old, because you're still engaging in that, rather than, oh, no, this is what I do, I understood that, now this is what I need to understand, now this is what I need to do at this stage of life.
Right.
As you're saying, it just loops back on itself again and again.
And leads to implement strategies, right? So I'm sure you've implemented a lot of strategies, both in the dance world and in the jewelry. Is it really jewelry business that you do? I mean, you're talking a lot about the minerals and things, but you turn these things into jewelry, right?
Exactly, yeah. So sacred geometry, taking, I like the idea of, and what I resonate with, is the balance of sacred geometry. So when you look at things or experience things of disharmony, that can have an impact on you. When you look at things with great symmetry and great balance, you can meditate on that, you can get that. So I try and bring that, well, I do bring that into my jewellery, and in the faceting of the gems. And so creating of the beauty, you can look at beauty and experience it and get harmony, or we can hold these things. So the symmetry and the way that everything is built by me, I put my energy, I put my consciousness into how the design comes. Right. And then also the choice of the minerals which are cut into gems, and then those create a synergy of energy, which I hope will have a very positive impact on the view, so the person wearing it and the person, other people viewing it, but also as we are enjoying the energies of these crystals. When you put it on, you can connect with that as well.
Right, that's amazing. Are there other specific strategies that you've implemented that would be useful for our listeners to learn from today?
Definitely for me, it's meditation. Yeah.
Listen to that. I'm not the only one that says this.
Yeah. I mean, for me, meditation is about connecting to myself. I believe, if you can say it, I'm not sure, us about face, but I think we have in our world this way of going things kind of backwards, and we can be in an energy of not really productive creation, you know, and then we try and take the right actions to get there, and it's almost like paddling up a stream. The stream of your inner self is going in a different direction energetically, internally, and you're taking the right actions to go in a direction. Right. Meditation, whether it's sitting down and meditating as a monk would for 3 hours in the morning, or whether it's taking 5 minutes just to align yourself and move forward, I feel that it would be great. The implementing of the strategy for me is I always try and make sure my internal energy is first aligned, then I take action. Some people I feel have, and stress comes from, I believe, the disparity where you don't align yourself and you take action, and the space in between is the stress of you pushing against your own energy. If you were to be able to relax, chill out, center yourself, connect into this, whatever that is for you, it's infinite and individual, then take action. Then it doesn't matter what the implementation is. As you say in the book, you can come up, there's books and books and books and books and books about the amount of implementations you can take, but it's really about how you approach it. And I believe connecting again, as you say in your book, to that heart space, your authentic, passionate you, then you might connect into your energy, go to take a step, take the action and go, this doesn't feel right, I shouldn't be doing this.
Right. It's not authentic, right? So it's about be authentic in a way, and aligning with that strategy, that energy, which is the strategy, which I love, because then you're moving from your heart, you're stepping into your heart.
Rather than paddling 3/4 up the river and going, I didn't want to be here, because you didn't connect into your authentic self. So check in with yourself. Some people do it through running, some people do it through painting, some people do it singing, some people go home and cook at night, just get into a creative space. I love the shower one. When people are like, oh, I was working hard, I hopped into the shower, lovely warm shower, I just let go, and it came to me. Right. So
and that's because energy starts to flow. Right?
Exactly. You connect into yourself, and then of course you actually, I think something we're not taught it's more in the East but not in the West, is we do actually know ourselves. Right. You can
actually feel it.
Exactly. But we're so used to not doing that. We have these structures that take us away from that.
Well, we get taught to think, not to feel, right? And that's what this is all about. And that leads to leading and inspiring, right? So you're clearly leading and inspiring. You're doing it today, so thank you for that. What's something you would like to share with the listeners about how to lead and inspire most effectively?
I would say authenticity. And interestingly, it, for me, happens when I allow it to happen. That relationship with self, again, to lead and inspire myself. So then you have everybody kind of in their own space, in their own energy. People are looking to be led and inspired, will naturally be attracted to you. And so when I try and lead, inspire, I feel, it's that authenticity. If I go out to lead and inspire, sometimes I can come from that place of not necessarily being authentic. But I've found, and what is the most wonderful thing is when you go to lead and inspire, people go, thank you, JP, lead and inspire. It's nice. But when you just go out, you do your thing, you're leading and you're inspiring yourself, and then out of the blue, somebody comes over and goes, wow, I'm so inspired. Then you go, wow, that was pretty special. I wasn't even trying to.
But it was authentic, and you were connected to your true self, and you were in that flow.
Exactly.
And that connected and resonated with that individual.
Exactly. So yeah, it's again for me, lead and inspiring happens as a natural byproduct to you being authentic. And then that's really something special, because then you haven't built yourself up to be anything inauthentic.
Right. You're not trying to lead and inspire. You actually are doing that naturally as a byproduct of being connected to your path.
Exactly.
Amazing. And that leads us to deliver excellence, which you're clearly doing. I'll give this back to you, but that's amazing, and you can feel the excellence in that. How about just the topic of delivering excellence, and anything you can share with the listeners about what allows you to deliver so much excellence in your life, and what maybe they can do to deliver excellence in theirs?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you may have even said this either in these words or quite similar in your book, the way we do anything is the way we do everything. And for me, perfection is something that can be attained when you don't actually seek it as a goal. So, like we were just saying, simple things, making breakfast in the morning, having a chat with friends, vacuuming your apartment. Building yourself up, you can create kind of spaces of nervousness when you're trying to do something that you're not used to doing as a natural part of who you are in the world. So if I get up and I just try to do anything as I would do everything, then when I go to do something supposedly important, I'm used to being in that energy, in that space of excellence. And then rather than shooting for that perfection, I actually find that I can have that perfect experience or manifestation present itself to me, because I'm not trying to create perfection. I'm just trying to live in this space of excellence where, as I do anything, I do everything. And so, yeah, then I don't find myself in those nervous spaces of, now I need to be excellent. Now I need to lead and inspire. Just make it your way of life. Just subtly do it, and it will be you.
Right. That's amazing insight. Thank you for that. So let's talk about delivering excellence and just how you can actually ensure that you deliver excellence in your life, and maybe something that the listeners can learn from that.
Definitely. Yeah. For me, I do a daily meditation in the morning.
Okay.
So that's that connection back in with the self. And I find too, for me, when I connect in, I take my time in the morning, then it's like a touchstone. If I kind of touch that energy inside of myself and find that stillness, then if I find myself getting out of resonance with myself later in the day, it's not such a big step back into myself. It's like, oh yeah, cool. Great, there. So that's my excellence, is finding that place of groundedness and centeredness, and just allowing that to be the pervasive energy in my day, more than anything else.
And as you said, we are with ourselves 24/7, which is personally and professionally, right? And you talked a lot about the professional excellence. How do you tie all of the build framework concepts into your personal life?
I really don't see too much of a delineation. I like to bring the two together. I find when I am interacting with people in businesses, it's nice to try and actually make that personal connection. It's nice to, over periods of time, it naturally happens. That goes back to the first part of understanding the relationships and developing the relationships. As that happens, it's really nice. And so that personal part of myself that I have in my daily life, I really like to connect with in the business as well, so that you can, really have no connection. I think having that heartfelt, heart space connection is really, really important.
Right. Amazing. I always ask my guests about words of wisdom. I've never been able to ask Yoda for words of wisdom, so now I'm asking Master Yoda words of wisdom. So
I'll tune into Yoda. Here we go.
Tune into, do some twirls, come back down, and I'll stand away so I don't get killed. But in seriousness, are there any words of wisdom that you have in your life that you want to share as we sit here today with the guests that really are kind of core to helping you be so successful that you think would be helpful
absolutely.
for them?
2 words: patient persistence.
Oh, love it. Write that down, guys. Patient persistence.
Yeah, I find, if we look back to an example with the classical ballet and learning pirouettes, which is turning,
Right.
you can go and you can get some things and then you're practicing and you have the greatest intention, but as things go south, as things are not going particularly well, rather than me just kind of trying to grab it and wrestle it to the ground and do the right thing and get the right outcome, sometimes it's stepping away. Okay, that's not going in the right direction. So, great, go away, do something else, come back to myself, clear the energy, center the energy, then go back and continue the pirouettes, or if I'm making jewellery sometimes. So soldering is very much like an alchemy. Like here we have gold and silver.
Oh, there's a kind of an emerald shine to that
That's
too.
moldlight.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
So when I'm soldering metals, if I'm not in a good place in myself, it won't happen. The metal won't flow,
Right.
They won't bond. And sometimes I've needed to very much be like putting 2 pieces together, 2 different metals, and it'll just be like, you're not in the right place. And I go, and I forced it, and I'll melt something and destroy it.
That's not patient persistence then, is it?
Exactly.
Because you lack the patience.
Exactly. Go away,
Right.
come back, and the metal will just flow. It will join beautifully, and the soldering will be, that it will go exactly where I intended it to go.
Right.
So yeah, don't give up, don't go, oh, that's not going to close the door, walk away from it. So close the door for a little bit, maybe whatever your enjoyment is.
Right.
Meditation doesn't have to be sitting down with your legs crossed and, you
It can be vacuuming, like you said.
Exactly.
Right? Someone's out there like, vacuuming really? But it's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a friend that his thing is cleaning. He loves cleaning, and it puts him into a centered space
Right.
of being.
Well,
So-
cleans himself sometimes, right? That works
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah,
Right.
so for me it's been able to know when to back off and not to create habits that are going to be detrimental by just pushing against something, distancing myself, and then patiently coming back to it again
Right.
and again and again.
What amazing insight. Thank you so much for sharing all that. Finally, how can people actually get a hold of you?
Yeah.
And take a look at this amazing jewelry that you have.
absolutely.
And be able to hold some of this stuff and feel what it's like and all the rest of it on social or your website. What
So
can
social
people do
media,
to reach out to you?
Neopkwaii is Neopkwaii, Instagram, or Neopkwaii on the Facebook. But then we just made it slightly easier, so just
Right.
neopk.com.
Oh.
Neopkwaii is beautiful, but it's
Right, complicated.
Exactly.
It's like Peitzman, people can't spell it, so I go by JP.
It's great, but it's
There you go.
and it's just that really easy connection. Neopk.com, and
Gotcha.
that's my website. Go on, check out, and just see once again that resonance. I think allowing yourself an intuitive path in life, whether you're drawn to something or allow yourself to be repelled from some stuff.
Right.
So yeah, go
Just
on my website.
go with the flow as it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I really appreciate our time together.
No, thank you.
And that's it for me on The Build Show. We'll see you next time at the next episode. Studio 3, that's where we were, so I'll walk you out here, and I thank you all for listening. That's a wrap, as they say. We'll see you next time on The Build Show.